My agent called me and he goes, they heard what you said about them having slaves. And I said, I was being positive about it. I was defending them. He goes, well, I know that. I said, I was defending them for having slaves. I literally said slaves are probably hard workers and for the most part agreeable, but they didn't like that. You can literally support somebody too much.
The biggest comedy festival in the world. So the thing about the Saudis is now they've got all this money, right? And so so all the great boxing matches that have been happening the last few years, it's because of them. So they got the money, they can make these deals happen. So the thing about boxing is it takes forever to get the people you want to see fight each other because they want a lot of money for it. Well, Saudi Arabia just comes up with it, and that's how you get stuff like you get Canelo fighting. Oh, that was a great fight. Bud Crawford.
Well, I know Maz Jobrani. I know Russell.
So now they're having
for years.
They're having the biggest comedy festival in Saudi Arabia. Now, remember, Saudi Arabia is a place that is known for being an authoritarian government. They're known for, they killed the journalist Khashoggi, right?
He's not a journalist.
But I'm just saying, the guy who worked for the Washington Post, remember that was a big scandal? That they killed, they cut him up into pieces at the embassy? They did do that.
Right, he was an intel guy for Turkey.
Yeah, but the cover story was he was a Washington Post journalist, and that's how it was reported in the United States press.
I saw, and now millennial dipshit comedians that are jelly are mad that people are going to Saudi Arabia. But
so now, they're hiring all these people. They're giving them millions of dollars. I just can only
for this,
I can only imagine what they gave Chris Tucker. Or what they gave Louis C.K. or they're getting Andrew Schultz. I can only imagine. It's got to be at least $1 million to do a comedy show, and so they're all doing it.
I'll do it for $500,000.
I would do it. I'd do it for half that.
Well, do you see the protests against it or Mark Maron's
Jimmy Carr
statement?
Jimmy Carr is going. Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle is going.
But why wouldn't they?
Kevin Hart.
It's never been a thing not to go there.
Somebody made a joke. I think it was Bill Maher said, "Isn't it amazing? I never thought that Dave Chappelle would be invited to tell jokes in Saudi Arabia at the same time he wants to be arrested. They want to arrest him in the UK. Isn't that something?" But anyway, Dave Chappelle, Kevin Hart, Tom Segura, Hannibal Buress, Pete Davidson, they're all going. They're all going. There's Fluffy. There's Maz Jobrani. Yeah. There's Sebastian Maniscalco. They're all going. Everybody. They're all going. I'm jealous I wasn't invited. But guess what? So here's a video of it.
How does that even work? You know?
Russell Peters, Kevin Hart, Chris Tucker, Bill Burr, Sebastian Maniscalco, Aziz Ansari, Tom Segura, Gabriel Iglesias, Joe Coy lives around the corner from me, Andrew Schultz, Jimmy Carr, Bobby Lee, Maz Jobrani, Whitney Cummings, Pete Davidson, Louis C.K., Hannibal Buress, Jessica Kirson. So now they were asked on Legion of Skanks. They were asked on Legion of Skanks. This came up because there's controversy because they're not going to Saudi Arabia at the behest of a promoter. They're going at the behest of the government. The government is paying them, and so
it's a family.
So that'd be like a lot of people say, well, they oppress women, they throw gays off the top of buildings, they're committing a genocide in Yemen. A lot of people. So this is the problem. That a lot of people.
If I worried about that, I couldn't play America.
Also, their connections to 9/11. I wonder if you're going to be able to talk about that stuff. Well, here's what.
I couldn't play DC if I was worried about that, Jimmy. Could I?
So no. So here is what they were saying on Legion of Skanks about it.
Are you actually doing that Saudi Arabian comedy festival, or was that just like a Photoshop?
No, of course I am. Everyone should be doing it. Everyone should be getting every dollar they can. This has been my consistent position for my entire life. And, I don't care if they execute half the comics in front of me.
So that's Tim Dillon. He's saying, I don't care. I don't have any conflicts, moral conflicts. I don't care if they.
Did he get disinvited?
I don't care. Yes, he did.
Oh,
so that was. I think this was before he got disinvited, because that's the point of this segment.
Oh, that's not cool.
So, and so he's being hilarious about it, as
He's the
always.
real Jimmy Kimmel.
Tim Dillon can't talk about something without being hilarious, and so he's saying, "I don't care if they execute half the comics in front of me. They're going to give me $500,000."
Wanted $500,000. They wouldn't do it. They gave me $375,000. I said, I'll do it. It's exactly on my show what I got paid to do it, and why I'm supporting the regime, the Saudis, Wahhabism.
Private jet
Oh yeah, what's the accommodations?
and the accommodations. They're dope, right?
I'm staying in the Ritz where they tied everybody up.
We
So-
don't want you joking about them.
So,
Saudis.
so guess what? Tim Dillon got disinvited from the biggest comedy festival in the world because he made fun of Saudi Arabia using slaves to build their giant cities. Slave
He was
labor.
talking about MBS. Well, so did we in America. I mean, I
right.
couldn't play here if I.
Right, but
But MBS tied up his relatives that the Bush family liked. That was the big thing. He's talking about that ranch where he tied everybody up and said, "I'm the king now."
yeah.
That's what all this bullshit about. They don't like MBS, and he likes Trump, and some people don't like him because of that. It's really above my head. I just want the money.
So here's Tim Dillon after he got disinvited for saying stuff about the Saudis using slave labor to build their cities, and here's what he said about it.
My agent called me and he goes, they heard what you said about them having slaves. And I said, I was being positive about it. I was defending them. He goes, well, I know that. I said, I was defending them for having slaves. I literally said slaves are probably hard workers and for the most part agreeable, but they didn't like that. You can literally support somebody too much. I've learned this. You can actually, by the way, in life, this happens. Too many compliments. Too much support, and then they turn on you. I was saying that slaves were proud of some of the buildings they built. That's what I was saying. I was saying that if I was a slave, not that I want to be, if I was a slave, and I built a really nice thing, I might say to my slave children, Daddy built that.
As Jefferson did.
Yeah. So that would be the joke that got Tim Dillon disinvited. I wonder what kind of jokes. I wonder if a lot of those comics consider themselves rebels and truth tellers and anti-establishment. I wonder if what they're going to say about being in Saudi Arabia.
What are they? It's none of their business.
At the behest of the government, being paid by the government.
I did a comedy tour of China. And by the way, if you do a comedy tour of China, don't think the government isn't going to be around and behind it.
Yes.
And the rule was you could talk about anything you want, say, but just don't talk about China. And I didn't know anything about China. So I was like, that's cool. Okay. Why would you? It's like playing a casino and they go, don't disparage the casino you're playing.
I got
so no, I'm not going to be a truth teller at a fucking casino. It's a bunch of Zoomer dipshits that think that, they wouldn't be asked back.
I got fired from the Harris Casino for telling people the truth about the Harris Casino. I got fired immediately. Before I got back to my...
Sucks. You got to tell them. It's a casino.
Before I got back to my hotel room, I was fired. I
thought that was an accident, though, because you said, like, you were talking about another place and they thought you meant that casino. Well, whatever.
No, it was.
There's all this Zoomer dumb shit now where they think... First of all, I don't care about Adnan Khashoggi's great nephew and upper class Barry Weiss horse shit that you kids are just jealous that someone is getting house money that you can't get. That's all it is. They don't care about the actions of Saudi Arabia at all. What they care about is someone is getting money and I'm not, because as you know, the economy is tanking. It's not doing better. So these kids got nothing except crabs in a bucket shit now. That's what they've been left with.
Well, it'll be interesting. I think that I would feel compelled if I took that money to go to Saudi Arabia.
That's because you're self-destructive, but I wouldn't. I would say, thank you, gracious host. I got my own country that sucks. I don't need to talk about you at all. Thanks for paying me.
Yeah, but in my country, I criticize my own country, right? I criticize my government. So
when I go home, I will criticize you to my people.
I think that's
safe.
I think that should create some conflict. It would create a conflict for me. It's like, well, how much money to shut you up? Right.
Well, I wouldn't take it if I was. Here's the thing. If you feel that way, I would go, well, I'm not doing the job. If I don't feel I could go there and just, first of all, freely say what I want, and I don't even know what I would say about Saudi Arabia if I got that money, I'd probably forget everything I ever heard. I would get
the money up front. I would get a big deposit, at least half.
Dude, their comedy things. Every comic I know Dude, Rogel used to go with what's his name?
I've been invited to go to Saudi Arabia by a promoter to go do comedy
they pay
there.
you out the ass, and it's a lot better than that. You know, a lot of comics did an Israel comedy trip, so
I know that.
we all shut up about Saudi Arabia because they're a better audience by far. I promise you. Russell Dobler is correct. Israelis are the only Jews who aren't funny. Comics that go and take that Hasbro comedy trip, they get overpaid. The audiences don't like them. They go, please tweet good things about Israel. Okay? So Saudis is a less pain points actually to deal with by a lot.
So here, the royal family's goal with this stuff. So that's the royal family with Tom Brady, the famous quarterback. And Tom Brady is heading to Saudi Arabia next March to play in a flag football round-robin tournament with Max Crosby, Brock Bowers, and other NFL stars, Pete Carroll, among other coaches. So they got the money, so they can bribe everybody. And the royal family's goal with this is that when you think of Saudi Arabia, you don't think about MBS executing journalists or the Saudi embassy staff supporting the 9/11 hijackers.
Well, he tied up those Saudis. See, MBS.
Wait, let me finish. Instead, you're supposed to think about Tom Brady, Live Golf, the Riyadh Comedy Festival, etc. That's what they want you to think about. They don't want you to think about the Saudi embassy staff supporting the 9/11 hijackers or them chopping up that Washington Post journalist, right? So what do you want to say, Kurt?
Yeah, okay. Number one, with 9/11, I live in a country with Dick Cheney in it, so shut the fuck up about the Saudis, number one. How about Israel? Also, assholes.
I'm 100%.
Bullshit. That's what I'm saying. I'm calling bullshit because I've only heard it from a certain age group and younger. And they're all saying this fake moral thing. Go fuck yourselves. All these things you're saying about Saudi Arabia.
I disagree. I disagree with you. The difference is, Kurt, is that I get to make fun of. I make fun of Dick Cheney. I make fun of my own government. I make fun of the Israeli government. I make fun of Benjamin Netanyahu. I make fun of the slaughter of Palestinians. I make fun of the. But you wouldn't take an Israel comedy trip. So no, but I'm saying if I took a trip to Saudi Arabia, I would feel compelled to do some jokes that I was told I can't do because, as Tommy Smothers said in my favorite comedy documentary, if you want to know what a real comedian is if you tell him to do something, he can't do something. That's the first thing he's going to do. If you're a real comedian, I wish I just thought of that clip. I'm sure I could find it on Twitter if I wanted. That was Tommy Smothers, one of the all-time brilliant comedians of our time, telling you exactly what a comedian's supposed to do. So we'll see. So that's what I think. I think if you're going to go there, I think unless your joke is about ice cream and puppies and dating, but if you consider yourself a rebel, an anti-establishment comic or truth teller, you got to do. I mean, I would take the gig. And then I would go there and see what happens. Maybe they'd cut me up into little pieces. Who knows?
You'd be disinvited very quickly.
Yeah.
The Saudis don't. By the way, do you know what a Dubai porta potty is? Does anybody know what that is?
No.
That's an Instagram model who goes to Dubai and they do influencer videos about Dubai. And then they go there and they get pooped on by rich Dubai Arabs and they get paid in Bitcoin. It's a famous thing. So that's what the level of degradation of going to another country to do stuff is right now. Going to tell some jokes to a rich prince is the same as if the King of England. I mean, I guess you'd probably do it to everybody, so it's uniform.
If I
know the parameters and I take the money, if I go, give me $375 and they give it, okay, I'll leave that out for you. I've done corporates. I don't want to do corporate gigs, but I'll do them for the money. If I get one, I don't get them. No one offers them. But I would be happy to fucking not censor.
I've been censored every time I went on late night television, Kurt. As you know, they go over your act with a fine-tooth comb. They tell you what you cannot say.
And like so, Tom and Jimmy Kimmel.
So that's just everybody knows if you want to go on TV, that's the deal. So I'm not saying that I haven't made compromises to popularize my comedy act.
Well, it's, Tommy Smothers, I mean, I don't recognize his authority like some people like the Pope, and I don't care about him. No, my first instinct would be funny. Whatever I can do, it's funny. That might be saying a thing I wasn't supposed to. But it doesn't have to be. What it has to be is funny. That's number one priority for me at all times. The morons here that are whining about this, they at some point made it where it's not about that. It's about every other thing except that because they can't be funny because they can't be joked about. You know their deal. So that's what this is. It's just jealousy over thing.
I'm sure there's a lot of jealousy involved, but I also think there's a legit point. So I'm not.
Marin goes, I'd like to think I wouldn't take that gig. He said he would like to think.
We'd like
he
to think.
take
Is that
gig.
what he said?
Yeah. Oh, what a hero. He goes, some of the bloodiest money on the planet. Shut up. Shut up. Come on. You don't read nothing?
The bloodiest money on the planet comes from the United States.
Like, what are you talking about? This is what I'm saying. Like, to focus on the Saudis, this mom and pop oil shop, compared to the biggest terrorist state in the world that you live in, is so dumb to me. And like, just like I wouldn't invade Saudi Arabia or another country when we got plenty of slaves and shit over here to worry about.
I mean, I might say something like that. Like,
I'd apologize to them.
I would do it. I would do it kind of like how Tim Dillon just did it. I was supporting them.
Well, he did it before. Listen, when you get there, dude, number one, I already know how that gig's going to be. You're talking a bunch of like rich Arab kids that are cool to a point, but their taste is very Joe Coy. Nothing against Joe Coy, but their taste is more of the Chelsea lately kind of, that's their taste. So you never mind any political consideration. You're not going in there with your political smart commentary. They're going to hate you.
Let's just
let's
hear to Tim Dillon why he got fired again one more time.
My agent called me and he goes, they heard what you said about them having slaves. And I said, I was being positive about it. I was defending them. He goes, well, I know that. I said, I was defending them for having slaves. I literally said slaves are probably hard workers and for the most part agreeable, but they didn't like that. You can literally support somebody too much. I've learned this. You can actually, by the way, in life, this happens. Too many compliments. Too much support, and then they turn on you. I was saying that slaves were proud of some of the buildings they built. That's what I was saying. I was saying that if I was a slave, not that I want to be, if I was a slave, and I built a really nice thing, I might say to my slave children, Daddy built that. Tim Dillon.
All right. And if you'd like to hear my jokes about this, come see me in Hermosa Beach, Sacramento, and San Francisco, and we'll be in Australia. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. See me on tour in Hermosa Beach, Sacramento, San Francisco, Melbourne, Australia, Sydney, Australia, Brisbane, Burbank, California, the day after Thanksgiving, and Pottstown, Pennsylvania. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.